Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa, and today I am doing the worst book of 2020. So just like I did with my best book of 2020, I have come up with a bracket fight. I did put these in randomly. I just hit the fill empty spots and I put all these 11 books in there. So I pulled these books from my tier ranking videos. Basically, any book that I put into the trash category is on here. So the first two books over here on the left are Escaping from Houdini and Becoming the Dark Prince. These both actually happen to be in the same series. And I really do enjoy this series. It's just that these two books, Escaping from Houdini was set on a ship and I didn't really care for it. Becoming the Dark Prince was like a set of short stories and I really, again, didn't care for that one. It was a novella. So I do really enjoy this series, honestly. So I don't know. I'm really torn about this one, but I'm going to say Escaping from Houdini. Basically, this set of books it's kind of like a Sherlock Holmes retelling where Sherlock is actually a girl and it's set back in the day, but they are trying to solve the Jack the Ripper murders. Her and her, I don't even know what to call him. He's basically like her sidekick. They're both apprentices to this girl's uncle, who is a coroner, and they're just trying to solve the Jack the Ripper murders. And as the series goes on, it's kind of like still the same overarching theme. And then, as they think they solve it, it might not really be solved. So yeah, it's interesting. I really enjoyed it. This third book just didn't do it for me. I just didn't enjoy the storyline. So okay, so these next two books, one is The Other Queen by Philippa Gregory, and this one was actually about Mary, Queen of Scots, and her time in living in exile with this English family, and basically how she manipulated everybody and tried to escape captivity because Queen Elizabeth I was obsessed with believing that Mary, Queen of Scots was going to steal her throne. I just did not enjoy this. I didn't enjoy Mary, Queen of Scots' character at all. I just thought the whole book was just about all these manipulations, and it was so irritating. I really didn't care for any of the characters in it, so this is why I made it to my trash list. And then Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I generally like Marissa Meyer's writing. It's just that this book was so unbelievable. It was supposed to be about the Queen of Hearts' backstory and how she became evil, but it was so not believable. Like, this one little thing led her to become evil? No. Just no. So, I don't know. It's a really tough choice between these two, but I think I am going to go with Heartless because it was just unbelievable. So the next two, the first one is going to be Fatal Throne, which is basically a set of short stories about Henry VIII's queens. And this book, it made it to this list because it did not give any new information or any new side of the story. That it honestly, it condensed things so much that most of the stuff didn't make sense because there was just no context for it. And I just don't think it added anything to the historical fiction genre whatsoever. So I kind of thought it was a waste of time. And then Ink in the Blood. This one was about these girls that were living at this basically like monastery, and then they ended up escaping and joining this circus, and the circus is full of weird, freak people, and basically it's supposed to be like a fond family story. I don't even remember the point of it, but I just remember not liking it very much. So I think I'm going to go with Fatal Throne because honestly, if you're going to write a historical fiction, you've got to do better than that. So that's going to be my choice there. And then the next two books, the first one is The Girl the Sea Gave Back, and that is by Adrienne Young. This one is supposed to be like a continuation of, I can't remember what the first one's called. I never can. The Sky in the Storm or something like that. Sky in the Deep. That's what it is. Sky in the Deep. So this one didn't make a whole lot of sense. We didn't really get anywhere with anything. Again, just no context for anything that's happening. And it was just really long and drawn out and kind of boring. So that's why this made it to my trash list. And then A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Oh boy. this one and the second book, they're supposed to be Beauty and the Beast retellings. I get that, but between the first and the second book, the characters weren't consistent, their personalities weren't consistent. It was just like this huge, massive change. And I know these are well-beloved books, but I did not care for them at all. The only reason I even bothered listening to them is because they were free. So, yeah. Man, I guess I'm going to pick a Curse So Dark and Lonely with that, because honestly, for a Beauty and the Beast retelling, they should have done better. Okay, so the next one is between Three Dark Crowns, and I believe that is the 13th. House of 13. That's what it was. So Three Dark Crowns was basically about these three sisters, and they each were born with these affinities or powers. One of them was an affinity with animals, one of them was an affinity with poisons, and the other one was an affinity with like kinetic magic, I do believe, or stone magic, something like that. And I just didn't care for it. It was dark, but it wasn't like good dark to me. It was just kind of dark and depressing, and I just didn't really click with the characters, and I was pretty bored most of the way through. The next one was House of 13, and this one, oh boy, this one didn't make any sense. It was about a girl who died, or who almost died. No, she died, and then she was resurrected by this other girl. Then she was taken to live in this house with all these girls that are basically immortal. It was never explained why they have immortality. It was never explained how they brought her back. She just accepted it. There was no like rebellion. There was no what the heck's going on. There was no I'm scared of you. It was just like, oh, you brought me back from the dead and now I'm gonna live with you. Cool. Yeah, I didn't really get the point of the whole book. So honestly, between these two, I'm pretty sure I hated House of 13 more. So we're going to move that one forward. Obviously, Reverie's over by itself, so I'm going to move that one forward. So Reverie was basically about these people who were fighting these dreams. So people were having like these waking nightmares or waking dreams that they were in these books, and they were like playing out these stories. And so the people that were like, they could stay lucid and stay awake while these other people were in these book dreams, and they were like helping the story along, helping it come to a conclusion, and it was never explained why. Like, what is the point? If it's going to end up at a conclusion anyway, and everything's going to go back to normal after it's over, then what the hell is the point in you doing it just because you're awake? So I really didn't care for it at all. I mean, it had a diverse cast of characters. There was like a drag queen and somebody who was trans in there, and, you know, and all that, the LGBTQIA plus representation. But it was the whole point of the book was to be that representation, and it was not about the storyline, which doesn't make any sense to me. I understand putting representation in books and completely 100% support that, but at least make the book good, because otherwise then your representation just looks bad. So it's like, what's the point in that? So anyway, I despised this book, and I thought it was a complete waste of my time to read it. So okay, back over here on the left-hand side, we have Escaping from Houdini versus Heartless. Honestly, I think I'm going to have to go with Heartless, just because I really did like the rest of the books in the Escaping from Houdini series. So, yeah. And then Fatal Throne versus A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I'm pretty sure I hated A Curse So Dark and Lonely more, so we're going to go with that one. And then we have House of 13 versus Reverie. Honestly, I think I'm going to go with Reverie. Neither one of these books was explained very well, but I think I hated Reverie more. So then that one's automatically going to advance. Why are you not doing it? Anyway, so then we have Heartless versus A Curse So Dark and Lonely. So this one's kind of difficult. I'm going to say A Curse So Dark and Lonely, honestly, because I think there's better Beauty and the Beast retellings out there. So then that one versus, why is it not? I don't know why it's not moving forward. That is really annoying. So basically it's between Reverie and A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Honestly, I think Reverie did a worse job than A Curse So Dark and Lonely. So I guess I am going to say that Reverie is officially my worst book of the year, even though my lovely bracket is just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So yeah, I guess we're going to go with that. And that is the worst book of the year. So let me know down in the comments what was your worst book of the year, what was your best book of the year, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would really love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe my videos. Have a great day.